Hey guys, it's Fallendice, and welcome to episode 27 of Fallendice Plays Better Than BuildCraft. And we are back in my BuildCraft world, and we're going to continue on and hopefully make either really good progress or maybe even finish our mob trap today. Um, like I said before, I was going to kind of do a little preliminary stuff to kind of jump us ahead to save some of that kind of work. So here's what I got so far. This is the size of each one of the pods. So as you can see, there'll be those four corners with that much space in between them. The blocks in the middle, that's where the collection area is going to be as far as in relation to these. Um, and I'll go down, I'm going to show them a little closer, but before I do that, we have this right here. The dirt blocks going above here, that is 10 blocks high. That is the height at which the mob traps will start. So that glass tube I talked about will be of that height from the mob trap above ground. You'll see 10 blocks worth of it, them dropping, and then it'll hit this here, which is going to be completely covered to look like the desert again. So we'll put like a cobble or something on the first row here, and then we'll cover on top of that with sand. Um, then you go down the other 20, or I'm sorry, the other 15 blocks, and you'll get to that. And that is the distance where our corners will start. Because the 25 block height is where you either kill them or they get dropped down to half a heart of damage, so you can, one hit kill them with your fist. So that's when that will start. And then, as I figured it out, and you'll see down here I have to show me, that's when we'll start heading down. And at the cobble point again down there, that is how far down we're going to drop to take it from the corner of, or the center of each one of the traps to the center of the room. It'll drop down that many more levels. And then I've got about another 10 from there to the down to this little platform I have, which that is going to be the ground floor of this building, or this part of the building I should say. So as you can see, I went around and I just did like a one block outline, traced it all the way around the outside of the building, and that will be the floor of the mob part of this. We'll be able to walk up to the middle there, which will actually be right here. Access to the buttons and all that other kind of stuff. Well, then they have all this extra room on the bottom to do something else. So I'll have to come up with a cool plan or design for what to put in the bottom part of this here. It might just stay empty for a little while. We'll see. I haven't seen a lot of slimes spawning down there, so I don't think that the slimes tend to spawn in that other room over there. So anyway, let me head over to the bottom now, and I'll kind of go over what I did here at the bottom. All right, and here we are at the bottom half of our area here. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of room down here. So whatever I do decide to put in here, I will be able to do it pretty big. There's plenty of room here. I had thoughts on something I've been thinking about, but that also adds more entities and automation into an already crowded area. As you can see over there, that's where my factory is. I've got my view level turned to normal, so I can't actually see what's over there, and so that's what's allowing me to have decent frame rates. Looks like we do have some slimes down here. We'll see. So anyway, these are 30 by 30. This is the basically design we settled upon in our last episode. Each one of these, instead of centering it, I decided to put it a little bit closer to the wall over here to give us more space in the center. I think it'll give a better effect when you're looking at it from a distance from up top, because they won't be just right on top of each other. So you'll be able to see them more independently. I centered the, over here we got the centered block. So let's try to get back up. Alright. This is the spot that you're going to drop into. And of course, just to show once again, even trying to go into the corner here, it will push you out. So this is good for getting them down there. The way the water's going to, or the way you have to design this part though, is a little bit different than if you're going straight. Because I can't go, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't, it doesn't go that far. Because it actually goes in the blocks here. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if I had blocks right here and here, the water will stop. So that kind of shows you that's your 8 blocks. So anyway, all right, so we got that. So yeah, so we're doing 8 levels down, 8 or 7, 7, 7, 7. But it's gonna 8 paths. So that's why up there that dirt path up there was 8, because it's gonna drop down 8 from that point to that point, and then from there we can actually technically drop it as far as we wanted to, but I just went with 10 just to give enough room. What we'll end up doing is the right before the spot that they drop in on, we'll put some vines again to catch them, just to make sure they don't take any damage dropping there. Because at the point that they get to the center area, if they're still alive, because we're in the experience mode, they'll have half a heart left. So just dropping like maybe 4 blocks might kill them. So we want to make sure that they don't take any damage on this drop here. And then at that point, we still need to run our wiring and that kind of stuff like that. So that part is all going to happen after the fact. Once we get everything built up and we'll see how things are looking, we'll find out what the best way to run wiring so it's not, I should say, ugly. That's my biggest thing. I don't want ugly wiring. And if you look up there, it looks like it's night with like a big bright star. That's just because I got my distance render at normal. I'm so far down that I can't even see the sky right now. If I were to go maybe 10 blocks, you'd be able to see the sky again. But it helps me to have decent frame rate, which is really, really nice. So, plan for now. Um, I want to build that floor. So I'm going to go and get my filler again and go ahead and put this floor in. We'll probably put it in two blocks high, just in case we need to drop down or anything. You know, we'll already have at least one floor block below it. Sometime eventually I'm going to do the walls as well. I'll get my filler to go from like just to put like one layer all the way all around the sides, just to kind of clean up because right now it looks really nice. You can see how it did such a really good job on this bottom floor. So that does look pretty cool. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'll stop recording here. And I'm going to put in my floor to get that all complete. Then I'll probably start from the bottom, because I think the biggest problem is I would hate to start building up top and then find out that I have to drop down a level. And considering that I'm building in the center there, that would be tough. I'd have to actually underneath set up the builder again to put another floor level. That would it'd be time consuming. I would not be happy. So what we'll do is we'll get our floor in. We'll build our center catch area here, and then we'll go ahead and build our 4 directional funnels for our mobs up to the center block here. Then we'll decide which one we're building first. We'll do our 24/25 drop up to there, so we know exactly where the base of the 4 spawning pads will be, and then we'll start working on a spawning pad up top. So I'm going to do as much of this as I can off camera here, just to save time, so we don't have like a 55-minute episode again. And then I'll come back when we're ready to do something cool. Alright, so we got a bit of work done here. Like I said, kind of pre-staging, because none of this is going to be the material that the finished product is on. It's more to help me with my spacing. I wanted to make sure that everything was at the right spot, the right height, so that when I'm going through here, I don't have to undo something and then go back and refix it. So as we see, we got our new level height. So this is going to be the floor of this, and there's a lot of space down there. Right here, this is going to be our central collection and kill area. So this is where they're all coming in from each one of the 4 corners, and they all come into this point. This will be, like I said, hollowed out in the middle, drop them down here, and we walk up to kill them. And then we come over here. The pads that I built under each one of these areas is the base for our raising and lowering of the kill slash experience part of our drop zone. So, you know what? I don't feel like dealing with slimes while I'm having this conversation. I'm probably going to have to go back through here and put in half slabs on the chunk areas that are slime spawns, because I did find a few of those. Yeah, we got like corner there. So there's definitely a few slime chunks here, and I don't want those adding to the mob entities being spawned, because that'll reduce the number that actually come from our experience or item farm. So anyway, we'll head on up there and take a peek at one of these. So where the cobblestone is will be where the floor is when the pistons are retracted, and then when we want to go to an experience farm and flip the switch, it'll push the floor level up to where the wood is, and that takes us from our 24 to 23 block height drop. Um, the second platform up at the top, that is going to be the base of our each one of our spawning uh, modules. Um, so this will be again the center, drops from there to here, and then heads on over to collection over there. So that's the part where the water will be running. I don't know if it'll be going this way or that way. So we'll figure out when we build the first one. But that is where that goes. And then if we head up further, we'll go to the top. You can see about how far the base of these will be sticking out of the desert. Give you kind of idea how this whole thing will look once that takes place. So yeah, we're about that high up off the desert floor. And you can kind of see from those, you'll see that much of the glass coming down, and then they'll go up like that. You know, 4 of these. We'll have lots of vines hanging down from them and stuff to make it look kind of cool. The way I'm thinking I want to do this, we're going to build all these, is we will start off, I think we'll start off by going from here down to there, because again, we want to make sure from the bottom all the way to the top that we're at the right position, because once we get to building the actual mob spawners, we can always raise it up 1 block higher, you know, if there's an issue there. Whereas if we start, you know, at the top and do some things, and then we have to try and adjust it, we'll have to be, you know, cutting things down, redoing how it all works. This part will just work easier to go from there. So we'll head over to this point, and like I said, I'm only going to build 1 of these to start with, and then I'll use the builder to build a second. But down here, I'm going to do all this. So I'll connect all 4 of these to here. Maybe I'll use a builder to rebuild this section where we got the redstone and stuff, just to, I don't know, we'll see. Sometimes it seems like it takes longer to set it up than it would be just to rebuild it. And you know, when you build it a couple times, it gets pretty easy. So we'll build the whole bottom section here, and then we'll go ahead and build our glass drops up to the pads up there on all 4 of these. So all 4 of the base part will be completed. And then at that point, it'll just be building each one of the modules for the mob spawners. Well, it's a good thing we're doing this right now, because it would appear that we are off center by a block. And I followed it all the way down to the end, and it's centered right from here. Which means we might have maybe this might be off center. And the thing is, if that's the case, then all 4 of these would be off, and it probably would be easier at this point to maybe move the center over. I don't know. Right off the bat, something. Alright, so here's what we did. We're centered properly over here, because it looks like what we had initially done was supposed to be this 4 here, and it's supposed to be over by 1. So we're at this position. We would be off on all of these for a different reason. These ones would be a little bit, for that one obviously needs to come over this way, as you'd see when we did that. One over there would actually be a little bit 1 too far that way. Yeah, so they would all be off. Since that's all the further we did, and I can go back up and just add 1 more glass block along the way all the way up there, I think that'll be the easier way to do this. And we're just going to move the center. We'll put it where it's supposed to be, and I think that'll be the easier way instead of going up all these towers and trying to redo that. So let me fix that real fast, and then I'll be right back. Alright, well that actually didn't turn out to be as difficult as I thought it was. I just simply was walking up and just putting one extra on the sides over here, and then going over and breaking the one extra over there. So now we are centered up with where we're supposed to be here. And didn't turn out exactly the way I initially wanted it to, so I'm going to check my numbers here and see if there's a way to extend it a little bit more, or maybe I might even actually shorten it, because it's like drop and basically. This part up here is too like really close together. I'd like to have this maybe a little bit further over here before it starts to drop down, but it'll work regardless. If it's coming up here, they're going to drop down to here, and if it's retracted, they'll just drop there. It's just, yeah, the water will come from over the corner and make a quick drop down. Wow, it's a lot of drop. Alright, so let's go ahead and build our walls and ceiling now. That way we can kind of get a look for how this is going to, how it's going to look, and see if we want to make any changes or anything before we do the other ones. And I might maybe make some of these 6s just to take care of that problem there. Just a little OCD thing. I just don't want them so close together. So I'll adjust a couple of these to change them. This one has to stay the same. This one has to be 8. And as there was 8 levels, well, we'll see. So anyway, I will be right back. Well, that's how it looks. And seems odd, but I'm wondering how much of that has to do with the Optifine. So I'm going to, oops, remember where that is and change that back. There we go. Get rid of the connected textures just to see. It still looks interesting. Hopefully once we get the water flowing through and mobs going, it'll look better, and maybe with all of them connected it'll look, because right now it doesn't look as nice as I was hoping it would, but it is functional. So if I were to go up there right now, put the water in, it would take me all the way down and drop me down the middle there. Alright, so this part is done. So each one of those I place water where it would be falling from our variable drop level. Each one of them comes in, as you can see, there's no water leaking down here. It's all stopping up there right at the lip. And I put in some vines with some buttons here, and right now I got a ladder, so once the ladder's gone, I'll put one there with the button as well. And that allows us to drop without taking any damage. Nice gentle drop. And what I'll probably end up doing is even putting half slabs here, maybe to make it easier to kill them, because then there'll just be their feet there so far as for attacking. And well, actually there'll be one more block here. Oh, I'm out of sandstone. There'll be one more block here, and you'll be able to walk right up to them and just kind of kill their feet, water at the edge, pushing it this way to keep them from hanging out in the back. Now that that's done, now we got to go over here and make our first drop catcher. And that was our variable height level thing we had built in my test world. So we'll head up to our first platform. It looks pretty cool in the minimap too right now so far, just with like the big X that the water troughs make here. And just in general, now that I added the water, this definitely looks cooler. It doesn't look so out of place, especially with all the other ones there. This really will look cool, I think, when mobs start sliding down here and you can watch them. So yeah, so what we'll do is I'll get rid of the water. I just put source blocks up there just to kind of for the visual effect of it. But we'll get rid of that, and then I need to go get some pistons and some more sandstone and get all the materials I need, and we'll build our first one of these. And then depending on how Wondering how, if it, I'm sure depending on where I place the builder, I'll be able to put this on the other platforms around there, and I can have that build all these if I want to. We'll see how long it takes me to build the first one. Alright, so we're ready to start this. The wood is where our block will be when it's extended, which means that's where the block will be. So one underneath that is where we need to put um, our pistons. So what we'll do, we'll set this up first and make it easier to put it on, and then we'll go ahead and knock this stuff out of our way. Give ourselves a little bit of a bit of a step stool. Alrighty. Oops, I need to swap you with you. And we need 5 pistons because this spot here will be for closing off the bottom of the water area when the top one is being used. Alright, so got those out of the way. Clear out underneath because that's where we're going to be putting our redstone. So each one of these will go under here. And again, I might skip ahead on this part just because I kind of went over it when I was designing it, so to say. But we'll continue on for the moment. Alright, so those are all in the up position right now. Put our repeaters over here. I'm gonna lose my ladder. Oh well. I'll figure out another way up. Although, technically, I should probably be putting in the proper building material now while I'm actually doing this instead of waiting till later. Because once I get it going, I'm not going to want to have to go back through and do it again. So, let's just go ahead and we'll clear out all this area in this vicinity around it, and we'll replace it with our sandstone. Alright, so the bottom part isn't quite done yet. I just wanted to make sure up here worked. So we've got redstone torch there, and also on top. So you see right down here, when this torch is on, it powers the blocks, which powers the redstone, turning these torches off. And since there's no power going in, these torches are on, so the bottom block is extended. And as you see, the top block is not. So right now it's taking water from the high end, and they are dropping down onto the higher one, so they're taking all but a half heart of damage. As soon as we get rid of this redstone torch, no more redstone power here, so these torches are allowed to be lit. They go in to power these blocks, which turns off those torches, so now the bottom pistons are all withdrawn, and because that one's not lit, the one on the top is now lit, powering our top one. So as you can see, these dropped, that one extended. So now the water's coming in through here, and we're at our lower level, so they will die upon hitting this point, and then just the items will drop down. So this works out. This works the way we want it to. Now all I got to do, put in a little bit more around the outside, and then we're going to have to get our water. But let's finish up this part here. Alright, so there's our finished product. I can go ahead and get rid of the cobblestone now. Got our vertical wiring coming up from below. Like I said, that's going to be running underneath and heading over towards there where our collection point is. And we'll find a way of setting that and running that together, joining them all up. I may still decide to surround the other edges going down so you don't see the redstone. It'll just be like a sandstone cross coming down from there. We'll go ahead and head up and take a look inside. And don't have a door because I can't come this way because that's over there. And I didn't really want to just move the whole pillar over this direction because its whole point of being there was that's where the vertical wiring is going. So I'm just, what I may end up doing is I might put it here. Because if I decide to do the four corners, I'll have one there and I'll have one here. I might be able to put it here, I suppose. Not a big deal, but we'll look at it as we get there. So up here, got the power running over to that piston. See over here, right now we're in the lower, the drop version. So this would be killing them as they fall down. If I come over here and take out this redstone torch. Oh, because that one's already dead. Well, makes it hard to show you up here. But if I took the one below it, like it does work. And it works the way it's supposed to. But, yeah. So this one's done. King of the ladder. Go ahead and take that part. And then, yeah, now we're ready to work our way up. I want to get one fully working pod. So this part is going. And at the moment, I can pretty much, I could choose to make like a lever. Put the lever right here. And for now, I could flip the lever and switch it back and forth and be able to go over there. I'll probably wait to set everything up here until I've got all of them done and I know exactly how my wiring's going to be. So for when I have just the one working, I'll manually do it from right there. So anyway, let me clean up this cobble here, and then we're gonna run our glass up to that point. Glass or I gotta figure something because I want to be able to control whether or not it's spawning from down here. So I'm gonna have to do something. It may not be able to be glass anymore, so let me think about this. I'll be right back. Alright, I think this is what we're gonna do. So say with two of the sides will be full glass, and then in the back corner we'll have this plus sign going up, and we'll do our vertical wiring up the middle. Each one of these will be facing towards the center. So if you're looking from the center, you'll be able to see glass on all four sides as you're looking, and the vertical wiring will go up that way. I think that's probably about the best way I can really do this without adding a lot and without looking really out of place. I mean, I could just run the vertical wiring up here. I could go, glass all the way around and just on the corner do the sandstone. I think it really would look, I wouldn't like the way it looked from the outside. So we'll try this. So let's go back. I'm gonna do this real fast, and then we'll come back and take a look at it and see what we think. Alright, so that's what we got so far. And like I said, that doesn't look so bad. Conceals the redstone, but you still got the nice viewable drop window coming down to this point over into here. And with this going on, I'm going to probably do the same thing with the all of these, and then I'll find which one gives me the best entrance up into there, and then I'll move my ladders over to there so that I don't have this big gaping hole in the back. But yeah, at this point now, I'm ready to go up and put the floor, this floor up there. That's the base, and then we can actually start building. We can start building the trap. I may actually complete this pod here for this episode and be able to get some experience, get some mobs. We'll at least be able to see how one of these operates. I'm curious to see how productive it can be, especially with all these stinking slimes. Oh my goodness, I had no idea how good this slime farm could work. Um, Unfortunately, I don't want it to work because I want other mobs. So I'm definitely gonna have to go and get a bunch of half slabs. I'm gonna have to half slab up the areas where they're spawning in, except for maybe over there. I gotta find out, is there a way to, an automated way to stop slime spawning? Because even if you had half slabs in the floor popping them up, I think they can spawn in a single block. I'm going to see if they can, if I'll have to figure it out. I think they spawn on one block, so I don't think there's really a way to turn it off other than half slab and just completely turning it off. I don't think I could choose to switch between having it on or off, so eh, we'll figure it out. But yeah, let me head up there. Let me enclose these vertical wiring tubes and find out which one's going to make me a good ladder. And then from there, we'll head up to the top there and put in our base. So yeah, you getting there. And this is really, really looking pretty cool. Um, Little over the top, but I really kind of think that over the top can be kind of good sometimes. And yeah, I cannot wait to see this thing operating. So, all right, well, let me do that and I'll be right back. And that is how we look. Got the bases down there. Moved the ladder internal, so I was able to get rid of that gaping hole. So we'll head up to the up to this first level, and then we'll take the stairs up to the top level, and we can start moving on to our next stage. So I kind of added this in, so I like to be able to just keep pushing forward to get all the way to the top, but it gives us the opportunity to come up here if we need to work on anything at this point. But that all is pretty much done. So now it's just a matter of making our base, and then from there we can start working our way up. The first part obviously will be to get the water path coming in, and then set up the brakes on all of the vines to um, stop them from taking any damage as they fall. And then once we get to the spawning pads, then it's just a matter of recreating them over and over and over to whatever height we decide we want to go to, and then turning the lights off. So, all right, let me start our base over here. I'm gonna get that built out, and then I'll be right back. All right, so I went back and looked at the footage and started to edit it, and once again, we definitely have a little too much footage to fit everything into a single episode. So I decided to cut this one in half as well again. So the other one should be out rather shortly after this, so it shouldn't be too big of a gap between the two. But that way it makes it a little easier to watch them, so you're not sitting there for an hour. But I did get my first full quarter panel of the of the mob trap done. So like I said, that'll be out here shortly. But yeah, we'll call this one an episode. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how I'm doing. Give me a like. Subscribe if you haven't already to be notified of all my future stuff. And yeah, that'll be it. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.